and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sherry Ann.
So, as we always do, we're going to start with our pest check-in. Sherry Ann, you decide who goes first today.
You go first.
Okay. Physically, I am a 7.5. Emotionally, I am a 7.75. Spiritually, a 7. And hope is a 9. And my word is juggling.
Okay, let me feel into this. So, physically, 8. Emotionally, it's like I see the scale and it's calibrating. 8.5. Spirit, 8.9. Hope, 9.75. And my word is hopeful.
Okay, so you recently just celebrated a birthday.
Yes, so I'm in the kind of the throes or the aftermath of celebration. And it really sparked something in me because it's like, well, why do we have to have these like reminders to celebrate? Like a birthday, like a holiday. It's like, what happened to just celebrating life? Or
Mm-hmm.
just, being, dare I say, grateful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what did this celebration mean to you?
Good coaching question. Um, well, here's a place I go often is permission. So permission because it was my birthday, permission to be all about me
Mm-hmm.
and letting it just kind of have it just come washing over me. But also it was the permission for me to put myself first. And it's really fascinating that I had to wait for my birthday to do that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
all on me, and I own that. But the awareness of, oh, because it's my birthday, and I kind of was walking around going, it's my birthday, it's my birthday. I can have this particular thing to eat, or I can go to this particular place, which is like, now I'm just kind of like judging myself and going, why am I waiting for this celebration permission
Mm-hmm.
to like bestow this stuff on me? Why can't I choose the things that I want every day?
Yeah.
Because I matter.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't know, celebration is a big thing for the Cancer Journey Institute. We love to celebrate. We love to celebrate the big wins, the little wins, and everything in between. And we love having a reason to celebrate too. So, as Sharon is saying, like, it's really hard to celebrate yourself and recognize yourself and have that reflection. I mean, luckily your birthday was on a weekend this year, so there was some slowdown time, but during, the work week, it can be really hard to find those pockets of time if your birthday's like on a Tuesday and you have like 4 meetings and you're like, okay, birthday stuff set aside, meetings come first. But also on a Cancer journey, it's like all these other things need to come first. I still don't get to celebrate yet, and the hardest part is to celebrate ourselves. So I love that you got to celebrate you and give yourself spaciousness and give yourself that extra treat today and stuff like that too.
Well, and I love the reminder that it is we actually call it a tool at CJI to celebrate. And somewhere in the last few weeks, I've forgotten. I've forgotten how important celebration was. Even though in the back of my head, I always know that it's there. And it doesn't have to be this grand thing. It doesn't have to be the birthday cake or, just a present. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be, Wow. I feel good today. It
Mhm.
could be, because I would do that for my clients all the time. Their
Yeah.
small wins as well as their big ones. And I don't know where birthdays fit in there, but it is that considered a big win. It's like I made it through another year. Okay, I'm saying this and then I'm pausing myself because I have been a little more aware of when I get up in the morning, it's like, oh, another day. Another day to be alive and to live my life the way that I want to. And I can do that in a work standpoint. Why we prioritize work is always an enigma for me, and yet it's not, because as I say it, it's like, because I put it there.
Mhm.
But that every day is truly a gift, especially coming from my own 5 cancer journeys and working in the cancer community. It's like life is precious.
Mhm. Yeah. And every day is a chance to have impact and to live the life that you want and live in line with what matters to you. And I love that you mentioned like awareness because uh it's easier to have that sort of reflection on your birthday, a day for you, and seeing um what comes up for you, what's come up for you over the last year, and to be able to have an opportunity to reflect on it, and even to just be like, I do wake up grateful for every day, and I do these things, and you have much, much, much more awareness than many people, and you've practiced this for a long time very intentionally to have that reflection. And I think back when you're saying that you can do it for your clients, I think it's so easy to do that because you're reflecting back to them. It's like when something great happens to you and you're like, oh, that's nice. And whether if it was culturally embedded in our systems or if it was something that was more nature or nurture, it's really hard for us to be like, yay me, like I did this thing. And it's so much easier to congratulate someone and recognize it in them than for them to acknowledge it themselves, because no one's be like, it's by the way, it's my birthday. It's it's my birthday. And I think that that's a really, really interesting reflection, and it's a reflection, not a judgment at all, whether you notice it or don't notice it, or whether you're able to have that time or not. um I think it gets really, really hard on a cancer journey to see those wins and see those. Well, I think it's really hard to see anything with a lot of clarity on a cancer journey when there's so much happening both externally and internally. There's so much
Hmm.
noise, and also why sometimes we need someone like a coach or just people, a community around us that sees us and loves us, to help us find and celebrate those wins, even if maybe we're unwilling to.
No, absolutely. I I'm just kind of letting myself be marinated in all that you said. Man, a cancer journey can be really tough. And so when other people, particularly at the end, right, when you're done with treatment or you're done with active treatment, there may be a continuum after that, but it's not as intense as
Mhm.
the active treatment. And then everyone, truly, the medical team is like, yay, go live your life, congratulations, you did it, you made it to this space. I mean, there's that whole ringing of the bell, which is it's supposed to, I know, be kind of this celebration. um, but when you're that, particularly the patient, it's like, okay, it's another day, I'm done. There's a part of me that wants, kind of this joy. Well, not, that's the wrong word. This I'm done with treatment, or at least
Mhm.
the active treatment. So there's that, but it's not this yay kind of
Yeah.
celebration. So it makes it really hard when everybody else is going, go. The caregivers are like, okay, look how far you've done it. And the medical team, and you're like, I can't get it up for this
Mhm.
kind of celebration. for me, it was like anticlimactic. It's like, oh, I should be putting on a party, right? Because that's how we celebrate, at least in our family. And so
Mhm.
it's like, I don't have any motivation, inspiration, or desire to like put anything together or even show up like I
Mhm.
think I'm supposed to for a
Mhm.
celebration. So then
Yeah.
what? It's like, it goes by that marking, that milestone, and then you go, oh, it happened, that was 2 months ago. I feel a little better now, but it's too late. And so the celebration just never happens.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think with that, and even like earlier on in a cancer journey, during your treatment journey, it's hard to see the little celebrations in between too, like finishing different rounds or like taking it off, it's we there's such blinders that come in with a cancer journey. And I think, like you said, that ringing of the bell, the end of treatment, or whatever that is, the end of acute treatment even, it can feel so bittersweet, because I think we've talked about this before, but the shadow of cancer looms still. It was so present too throughout, like, the cancer journey, right? And knowing that you have cancer, it was like hovering. It was not falling behind you. It was hovering. And so to think that, like, now at this very moment, for some specific reason, it's completely gone, it can be really lost on people. And so I think even that celebration of the ring of the bell to certain people can be very it almost feels more ominous, right? And
Right,
almost like
right.
like, "Oh, like, let's not celebrate too much." And I actually think that celebration can be really, really hard for people on a cancer journey, right? Like, we want the celebration. There's that craving of that pure joy that we really want for small or big moments, but it comes with so much bittersweetness or even resent for some people, because maybe they haven't even been able to process a lot of that emotion along their cancer journey, that when those events come up, it's also like, okay, like, don't say it too loud. Like, let's just keep it
Oh,
quiet just in case, because, like, to feel the highs and lows, right? Like, I think that the some people can visualize and feel the entire journey as a low. And so once they start to feel a little bit high, they're like, I don't want to drop into that low again. It's just that fear of that drop right back into the pit, right? And this, like, possibility that it can always come back, that makes it really, really hard for some people to want to celebrate any of the highs, because they're just anticipating the next time it's low, or the next time they get bad news. So, and I will say, some of that's an assumption for me. Some of it is some people that I've experienced in our training, and watching them kind of feel like they start to push away or lean back when we start talking about celebration and cancer. Because obviously, like, let's say this right now, celebration and cancer do not seem like they go together. But, we are challenging that perspective, because there are so many things that exist in our lives to celebrate. So I think I want to ask you the question too, especially as a master coach. Like, what do you tell people?
mm. Again, a good question. There's a couple of things that you said that really sparked me. One is definitely this what you just asked. It's, what do we say to somebody? But I want to touch on just what you said previous to that, of that fear. That
Mhm.
fear story really does rob us of a lot of the joy that we want to have, because is the second shoe going, I mean, the other shoe going to drop? Am
Mhm.
I going to be disappointed because I only lasted this long? Or, that just, it's not only the shadow of cancer that looms, but it's like this fear story that I like has a grip on us, and that steals the any possible joy from celebration. So it's like, almost, why bother? First off, my body still feels totally torn up, or weak, or whatever. So don't have the energy within my physical body. Secondly, my spirit is about this, I used it all just to get myself to here. my emotions are swirling because I'm doing the whole mindset of what if
Mhm.
in the future, and then the fear stories create the fear in this. I mean, so you're just like this ball of blah. And
Mhm.
so someone brings up celebration, and you go, I don't even know how to do that.
Mhm.
So what would I say as a coach working with somebody? And it's not my job to say, okay, I'm going to pull you forward and we're going to celebrate. It's if my client is questioning celebration or just hold this whole concept of accomplishment or things that could be where we could just pause and be grateful for, well, I'll start there.
Mhm.
It's like, what is there to be grateful about in this moment?
Mhm.
And truly, if we pause long enough, there is always something. I mean, I
Yeah.
go as simply to, I am breathing in this moment because I had pneumonitis. For those who's ever had pneumonia and or asthma and you're gasping for air. Wow, you are so grateful for the ability to get air in your body.
Mhm.
And so it's just those simple, small things where we go, I don't even think about breathing. That my body just naturally sustains my life by breathing because that's what it does. What a fabulous body I have. That's
Mhm.
something to be grateful for. So that's where I would go. It'd be like when somebody's really grappling and wanting to know why to bother with life, to go maybe there.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, even earlier when you were saying, like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, "Oh, I get to have another day." Like, that's also a wonderful thing to celebrate, and I think also for people who are going through a particularly difficult cancer journey, to even do the step back of feeling the emotions and understanding, like, okay, why can't I celebrate? Why do I feel adverse to celebration? What is there pessimism here? Is there, what's here that's not allowing me to feel celebration? Or maybe like, how am I judging celebration? There are so many ways to come at it, and I am not I'm not saying one is any better than the other, but as you're talking, I'm like, oh yeah, and like where in the space is the person? And I mean, all of this is to say that we really want to get people to a place where celebration is something you can incorporate into your life no matter where you are, because it's so
Right.
important. And so one of the first questions you posed is like, why do we have holidays that remind us to celebrate? Why do we need reminders to celebrate? um I have an answer. And because I say it a lot, especially when I have friends who are like, no, I don't like to dress up for Halloween, or like, no, I don't really recognize that holiday. And I'm like, okay, are you gonna do like anything special? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. But personally, I think that holidays are here to break up the every single regular day, because if we don't celebrate, and most of us don't, we have so much going on in our lives, and so it can be hard to find moments of gratitude or moments of celebration, which totally go hand in hand. Those individual holidays, they give us a moment to pause and to not feel like, okay, today is every other day, so I can't, I'm too busy to think about celebration or gratitude. Like, it gives us a moment to like stop and just think, reflect on whatever that is, even if it's Halloween, it's like, what have my past Halloweens looked like? And, the joy that I experienced, or hey, maybe I deserve to have some candy today. or I want to dress up just a little because it's fun. I think that holidays are really fun for that. And they give us that opportunity, right? Even if it feels almost unspoken, like just having it exist and having some sort of acknowledgement in your mind or your heart or the space around you, um it gives us a little extra push to stay um aware.
That's exactly what I was getting from you while you were talking. It was like awareness, but thoughtfulness. And then you said fun, and I'm like, So why are we doing this thing called life? Are we
Mhm.
having fun?
Mhm.
And you might be a really serious person, but don't you just want to have fun too? I mean,
Mhm.
life should be fun. Life should not be a slog. And I
Yeah.
think, I mean, I really love what you said is thank goodness for holidays. Thank goodness for a birthday celebration to say, hey, this is not just a normal day. This means we need to pause. I love the pause. I mean, we're just like all about the pause to be thoughtful and think about maybe not just about me, like Labor Day or Veterans Day. There's a reason why we need to pause to think about the appreciation for the veterans or the labor of everybody who labors. Like we labor, and that could be the slog. So let's pause for a day and not slog and have some fun.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah.
how do we infuse fun into our lives? I think, and now I want to just proclaim we should just have a day called the Fun Celebration Day or just the Fun Day.
And I think that's what a lot of people can maybe think of as their birthday, you know?
Ah, there you go.
Because your
There
birthday
we go.
can be, it's like a license for it to be all about you. And even if you have the same birthday as someone, it can be all about both of you, you know? It's the one day that we feel like we get to be a little more selfish. And I think it's probably the easiest day for us to think of ourselves being selfish, like, or self first, really, because every other day it's like, what can I do to help others, or my purpose in life is to help others, or other people will always be part of the equation. Like, let's they'll always be there. There was something that you will always do, especially if you're a good person, to want to help them. That is like blanket, that's already there, that's baseline. What about you? You can't fill from an empty cup. And so on our birthdays, when it becomes like a day to focus on us or to give ourselves a little extra something, why not do that, you know? Even if it's like something that's just going to make you feel good and that is helping people, but like it really has to be soul filling. It can't just be like, well, I'm going to give my meal away because it'll help someone, and even though I'm going to be hungry, like at least I help someone. It's like, no, how about you eat part of your meal and then you can also make enough to give to someone else at the same time, and it can be your favorite meal then. You know, it doesn't need to be everyone else first, and every day it doesn't have to be everyone else first, especially on your birthday. You know, that's you day.
Right,
That's you, and always
right.
do something special day. I I like to keep people's birthdays in my phone so that if there's one time of the year that I talk to them, it's on their day, and I try to send some message that feels special about the connection that we've had, or you know, letting them know that I'm thinking about them and hoping that we can spend time together, but also just saying like, I hope you do something, at least something small, to celebrate you, because that's so important to me. And if someone doesn't think it for themselves, I just want to give them the reminder like, you matter. I see you today. Buy yourself a cookie or something. I don't know. Whatever makes you happy.
Well, I want to say to those that are listening to this right now, and I don't know what day this is or if it falls on a holiday or anything, but right now, what will you do for yourself that's fun today? Again,
Yeah.
I'm proclaiming today is fun day. Whatever day that is that this you watch this podcast. Today is fun day. Go find some fun.
Oh, I love
I guess that's my takeaway.
that. And is your word fun day then?
Yes, and today my word is fun day. What about you?
My takeaway is that celebration, like the word, the concept, is so difficult for us as people to hold on to because there's so much expectation around it. But when we really piece it apart, celebration is about joy and you and letting yourself have that. Um, and so my word today is actually permission,
Ah,
because
great.
they just go so hand in hand. Not that I have to
They
explain
do.
my word. Well, thank you for tuning in with us today. If you have an answer for Sherry Ann's, like, what are you doing today to make today a fun day? We would love to hear it. You can either shoot us an email or reply or add a comment to the podcast or the video. And we'll be back next week on Friday.
Have a lovely rest of your day. A fun day.